global leaders are discussing the challenges, the implications, and potential pathways to safeguard the future of our planet and future generations. What does a net zero ambition really mean in practical terms for institutions?
Translating that net zero ambition into reality. And that means for a bank several things. It means becoming net zero from an operational perspective, becoming net zero from a supporting our clients perspective, and also becoming net zero from our financed emissions and supporting innovative solutions.
Where we stand today in terms of what's being done towards scaling up sustainable finance and what more needs to be done across the board to accelerate the growth.
For the last 3 to 4 years, you had a huge inflow of assets into these kind of products. And it has been not only the interest from institutional market, but it's gaining traction also in the different client segments. I would say both private banking, wealth management side, but even on the retail side. The new challenges related to sustainable investment products will be related not only to develop them with the objectives at hand to improve things on the ground, but also it will entail the engineering of new next generation funds.
It's not just about the quantity of investment, it's about the quality of investment. And I think that's probably the key area of focus. And I think one of the things we really need to focus on with sustainable investing in particular is holding companies, holding issuers up to the right standard.
I think the question now is, there's a lot of finance wanting to flow into sustainable programs. What we see on the ground is, it is not very easy to curate projects that are amenable for sustainable finance to go into, simply because of the issue of standards.
The current sort of offering, when we talk about sustainable investments as a vehicle to create this change and support this transition, is actually not really sufficient. And going back to the green bonds or going back to the quality of them and going back to the sustainable investments as a toolbox today, it's a very shallow sort of a water in terms of how they are done, and also very shallow in terms of what results they can achieve. So I think that the next 3 to 5 years, you will see a number of developments, revolution of sustainable investments, basically in all levels, all the different asset classes.
What role can technology play in bringing consistent and compatible data sources together to be able to help us understand better that level of transparency?
Actually, technology will play a big role in conservation, and we are totally convinced about it. Especially some of the challenges are so difficult to address. Whether be it in whether conservation on the ground is actually happening, whether forests are being protected, whether after the project is completed, how do you make sure that the program still stands or it's not completely reversed out? So these will all require monitoring and, in many cases, analysis of data. So without the use of technology, I don't think we will be able to address the many challenges that the world faces.